This lesson is all about the tables and sorting and filtering those tables. So if you look at this first tab right here, we have a summary, and there is no filter on it. It's not really sorted right now or anything. So it's just data inside of Excel. So if you go to the data tab up at the top, okay, the main things that we're going to be doing today is these right here. So if we have sort and we have filter, that's the main stuff. There's one other thing that we're going to do is remove duplicates, but our main stuff here is sort and filter. So the first one, even if you don't have anything on it, it's just data, you can hit sort, okay, and it will select like what are you wanting to sort by. And notice it automatically selects starting with row 3. So if I look at this, it will show up with the headers up at the top. It kind of defaults and selects that. You can also go and select that data first and select everything from row 2 down, and then that way we'll have all the information as well. So if we wanted to sort by category, so over here we have different types. It's the different categories within the pharmaceuticals. So we're going to sort by category and then A to Z or Z to A. You might see other words. It might say ascending and descending. You do need to know the difference between ascending and descending. Ascending is going up, so A to Z, and descending would be going down like Z to A. Or a number value, increasing, decreasing, things like that. So you might see different words that they propose to you, but you do need to know the difference. So A to Z, we'll call it ascending. So now it starts with the C's, the lowest letter in the alphabet, and it will go up alphabetically, and that's how it's sorting it. You can do sort by, let's do sort again, and we can do it by a number. So let's do it by research. So Q on research, and then because that is a number value, it will say smallest, largest, largest, smallest. Again, they may also say something like ascending or descending. So let's look at who spent the most or who has the quarter one research for the most, and that is this one right here. Okay, and then it goes down just by this column. So notice this column no longer is sorted alphabetically. It's all sorted by this particular column. So you're doing one at a time. Now you can do 2 different levels. So if you look here and you're like, I want to see all of my categories together, so I can see respiratory all together, I can see specialist and hospital all together. But then if there's particular pharmaceuticals that go together, I want to see those, or just alphabetically within that. So you could do a 2-level sort. So first we're going to do it by category, okay, and then we're going to do alphabetically A to Z. So it's first going to sort this column just like we saw earlier from A to Z. Then you can add a level. So when you add a level, it will sort this one first and then the next one, and so it'll all be kind of together. Then I'm going to do it by pharmaceutical. I'm going to do it A to Z. So watch what happens when I hit OK. Okay, I have cardiovascular all together first. So it's doing this first. Then within cardiovascular, if you look at the 4 cardiovascular, all of the pharmaceuticals next to it are alphabetical. Okay. Otherwise, it could be like this Vasclo at the top and, something, and then the Hermapro at the bottom or something like that. So within the next one, we have 5 of these gastrointestinal, and then the actual pharmaceutical next to it is also alphabetical. So that's the 2-layer that you may be asked to sort. Okay, so that's pretty much for sort. Notice it didn't put anything else. You can just do the whole table, and you can also filter. So sorting, and these are all very helpful information when you have a ton of information. When you have a ton of data in a table, this is all extremely helpful to be able to see the information. So if you select everything, okay, we're going to hit filter on it. There was already kind of a filter on it, so that's why. Normally you're going to select all the data and hit filter. This one, I just took it off earlier, so I just hit filter back on this one. But normally in all of these, you're going to select the data you want and then hit the filter button. So it already knows that this table is what we're filtering, and it's putting the filters up here at the top on the headers. So filters are great if you want to only see certain information. So for instance, this is a lot of information and I only want to see a certain type of category. I'm only looking at the cardiovascular. So I want to filter this one, and you can unselect everything. This button obviously selects all or unselects all, and then you select just for what you want. So it will only show that, and it just kind of hides everything else. So the filters are great to be able to see specific information. And you can do that on any column over here. So if you're like the pharmaceuticals, there's a bunch of them here. Okay, you could filter just for that one particular one, and see, okay, there's the one I want to see the numbers on. You can also do things. So if you look at Q1 sold, how much we sold in quarter one for that particular pharmaceutical, you can also number filters. So here are some additional ones. And the only thing that there's only going to be one problem that you might get in geometrics, and it's going to ask for above average. So basically it takes the average of that column and it will only show you the numbers above that average. So if you're wondering like, okay, we sold, this is how much we sold of that pharmaceutical in quarter one. And if you're wanting to know the kind of the top earners, then you could do top 10 if you wanted to see that. You could also do above average. So if I select above average, it's going to find the average of that column and it's going to select only the numbers that are above that average. So you can see, okay, these were the highest selling pharmaceuticals in that quarter. You could also do greater than, less than specific numbers, things like that. And it's a custom filter for anything that you could kind of need. Okay, so they will show you that as well. If you want to clear it, none of them are going to ask you to do it, but you do need to know how to clear a filter. You just clear a filter and from there, and also you can do it from up here. Clear the filters from up here. Let's see. So we have number filters. You also might be asked to, once you filter, filter just for, let's do just for a category. Let's do oncology. Okay. And then also it may ask you, okay, I only want to see the other one on this one. So you could be asked to do multiple things. And so do them in the order that it tells you if it's asking you to filter for certain things. So it's not always just one filter. It could be kind of like a 2-layered filter. And then I'm going to clear this one. Okay, there's also things, so there's in the text filter, we talked about there's numbers of if you have a number, there's number filters for above average, top 10, that's all if there's a number. But if there's a text, so like these first two columns, okay, then there's a text filter and it will search for things that begin with a certain, part of a word or end with a certain type of word or contains the word, medicine or something. You could look for very specific things just like with the numbers. There's going to be one in geometrics that asks for words that end with, EX or Lux. So it's actually a double. This is the example you're actually going to get. So it's the pharmaceutical column right here, and it ends with EX and then or Lux. And it all tells you in the steps, like these specific things. Okay, and so you're looking for just those two. And then you hit OK, and it will filter for just those. Now, the first time I did that problem, I'm going to clear the filter on this. It's actually a 2-step filter, so we'll ask you to filter just for, I think it's oncology and gastrointestinal, and then it will ask you just to filter for things ending in EX and LUX. Now, when you look at this, I can easily tell I could filter. I only have a couple left. So what I did the first time was I just unselected and I went through and it manually selected the ones that have those because it was pretty easy to just look and see which ones end in EX and LUX. But it doesn't want you to do that once you actually do a text filter. And then it wants you to say it ends with, EX or ends with LUX because you will get it wrong otherwise if you don't do the actual text filter, if you just manually go and select those. Okay, so I'm going to clear that filter. So text filter, you can also filter by color. So I'm going to come over here to this next tab, and so it says by category. Okay, and so I created this where I broke it up by categories, and each category has this blue header. So there is some where it actually has you filter. You can sort by color. Okay, if there's specific cells, that will not help us in this one because we're broken out by category. So if I do this, it just puts all my category headers at the top. So I don't actually want to do that. I could, if I wanted to see my categories only, I could filter by color and I could just see those category headers. So I know those are my 5 categories within these pharmaceuticals. So you could be asked to filter by color as well. Okay, and then the last thing, I'm going to actually come back over to the summary tab. The last thing is to remove duplicates. So it may ask you to look only in specific columns. So if you're like, I want to see within the quarter 4, what we sold, are there any duplicates of how much we spent? Now it will remove those duplicates. So you have to make sure you're kind of selecting things that you're like, I'm wanting to just get rid of those specific things. So quarter four sold and quarter four research. If it has the same number for both, I want to see it and I want to remove it. Okay, no duplicates were found. Let's see if I can find one. I think I actually already removed the duplicates from this one, so it may not work on any of these. Let's do quarter two then and see. So then, yeah, this may not work because I already removed the duplicates and I forgot to undo it before making this video. So there's quarter two duplicates. Let's just try it with quarter two. Okay, so there, perfect. I have an example. So 2 duplicates found and removed. 22 unique values remain. Note that the count may include empty cells and spaces and things like that. So even if it was like double, like if it had the double blanks and things like that, then it could remove it. Okay, so it will remove duplicates, but that's how you would go through. You would come up here and remove duplicates and you select. It will tell you which columns to select to look at it. Okay, so that should be it. And then you can do your 5 geometrics problems.